Smile, smile.
Good evening. It's October 6th, 2025, Monday, and Studio 6F tonight. And it's my pleasure and distinct honor to be speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing?
Very good.
You're looking well in that burgundy sweater.
They're giving me a lot of treatments, though, a lot of treatments.
You're well, you're well. Mr. Jeckovich was born in October 1925, and here we are, October 2025. This is the big month. Mr. Jeckovich will turn officially 100. 100 years old is knocking on his door, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing as we read your book, and we spoke for over 600 YouTube videos, how you remembered things. I don't understand. You don't own a computer. You don't have access to Google. You don't own a computer. You don't have access to Google. How did you remember so much of such a young age?
I don't know.
Let me ask you, were you born at home?
What?
Were you born at a home?
Yeah.
What house? Where was it located?
On Eli Avenue.
So you were in a rental house on Eli Avenue. And where were you living? In the house, or was it an apartment?
It was a house.
And your dad?
Two-family house.
Two-family house.
They didn't go to hospitals back then, right?
So you were born in a house on Eli Avenue.
Yeah.
And later, as years went on, your Uncle Andy and Johnny lived on Eli, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that a coincidence? That was on the other side of the creek.
Yeah, that little bridge.
Right over the bridge, yeah. A little bridge.
Yeah.
What's the earliest recollection you can remember of your life?
Oh, on Eli Avenue.
Could you remember 1 year old?
When I was 1 year old.
Could you remember 2 year old?
Oh.
What is the earliest? Do you have a great memory?
When I started going to kindergarten.
So that was about 5 years old.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Do you remember the house on Eli?
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to get this in chronological order. So the first place you lived was on a rental house on Eli Avenue in Niagara Falls, New York.
Two-story.
Two-story. Were you upstairs or down?
Yeah.
Upstairs or down?
Two-family house.
Well, did you live upstairs or downstairs?
Well, my mother lived downstairs when we lived upstairs.
Okay.
I lived upstairs. I was married.
Yeah. Okay, that was Eli Avenue. Where did you live after Eli?
After Eli on Orleans Avenue.
No, I thought you said Fall Street.
Fall Street, no, never.
East Fall Street.
Fall Street, no.
I thought you said you lived next to a bar.
A bar?
You said you lived next to a bar at one time.
That was on 13th Street. That was way before that.
That was way before Eli.
Yeah.
Okay. So were you born on Eli or were you born on 13th Street?
I was born on 13th Street.
13th Street. And then you moved from Eli.
Yeah.
And then
he moved to Orleans.
And then Mr. Belden was a fine man. He was a realtor and he was a home builder. And your mom and dad put a small down payment. And Mr. Belden was kind enough to give you the mortgage.
Yeah.
It was like $46.21 a month.
Yeah.
And you went to pay it every month.
Yeah.
And you had great care of the house. You had great pride of the house.
26 minutes.
And the only time that you didn't take his money in person is when got drafted into World War II.
I was overseas.
But you sent your entire paycheck home to your mother.
Yeah.
So your mother would take it over to Belden, or did somebody else?
My mother would take it, but somebody else would take it.
Like maybe your sister?
Sally Butler took it over.
She took it over. So you never missed a payment. You were very appreciative that Belden gave you a mortgage, and you paid it off in full.
Yeah.
And your mother, you cared for your mother there from age 11 and to her demise at 89. So your mother basically lived there almost her entire life.
Yeah, but she lived with family.
Yeah, but she had into 89.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a wonderful story. And what was Orleans Avenue like when you first moved in? What did the street look like?
Beautiful street.
Were there many houses on it?
No, 2 or 3 houses.
When you lived on 13th Street, you said you lived next to a bar. What was that street like?
You know, he had a, he used to keep the window open, you could smell the liquor coming out of the bar.
I see. Was that a kind of a rougher area?
Yeah,
How about when you lived on Eli Avenue? Was that a nice street?
it was better than 13.
How was that street? It was better?
Better than 13th
So
Street.
you went from 13th, better to Eli, and then the best to your own home.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful story. That's a beautiful story. But you were born at home. Was your older brother Steve born at home?
I don't know.
Was your sister born at home?
I don't know.
Was your brother Louis born at home?
No.
But you know for sure that you were born at home.
They had these women that did that stuff. They go around the house.
They go take care of it right there.
Yeah,
And within a couple days, your mom was back up and about.
yeah, yeah,
Up and about, right?
yeah.
That's an amazing story. That's an amazing story. I don't think you'd be born at home today.
No, no.
No. Things have changed. Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a gift.
today is a gift.
Yeah.
Do you want to read a few pages of the book
No,
yourself?
go ahead.
Okay. This is Mr. Jekovich's book. It's titled Their Mother's Sons. It takes Mr. Jeckovich from his aged 11, when his father passed away, to caring for his mother to her demise at 89. It all took place basically in the same house of 3063 Orleans Avenue, Niagara Falls, New York. The only time Mr. Jeckovich was not there when he was drafted into World War II, but he did provide getting the $46 a month mortgage paid by sending his entire
22.
paycheck home. So, allotment, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, allotment. When we're speaking of money, I found some interesting facts.
And just think if a 19-year-old today would send their mother all their paycheck. I don't think so.
Yeah.
What?
Say that again, please.
I don't think any 19-year-old or 20-year-old kid would send their paycheck home to their mother these days like you did. That's very,
No, 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 no.
That's the reason why they call this guy the greatest generation of all
Yeah.
time. And when we're on the subject of money, we'll just highlight a few things. So his checks from allotment, came and went to his mother, so his mother was able to pay the $46 mortgage. But when it was all said and done during World War II, Mr. Jeckovich was shot in the shoulder by a sniper. He was beat up, stabbed, lost a hip, trench foot, frostbite, and hit really hard by a dirty bomb, which he has shrapnel still in his body.
Yeah.
So if you attempt to go to an airport to get on an airplane, it won't work. The metal detectors go off.
Yeah.
What do?
Give me a slip.
Give him a slip. So, and the war was over. He received the Purple Heart and almost a dozen other medals and awards. But here's the money situation. When the war was over, Uncle Sam had something called the mustering out pay. The mustering out pay was simple pay to give these young fighters, these heroes, enough money,
Get back home.
yeah, to get their civilian life going again. The total mustering out pay Mr. Jeckovich received was $300, and they didn't give it to him all at once. No. $100 a month
Yeah, yeah.
for 3 months, and that was enough money to get your life set up to where you left off. But a colonel, J. Harris, who thought highly of Mr. Jeckovich, said, let's give this guy, young soldier, a young hero, a bonus. And they gave him $21
I know Harris.
I don't know, it says right here in your reports.
What does it say?
Colonel J. Harris authorized you to have $21.95.
Well, he was the unit director. I probably didn't know him by personally.
$21.95. What was that bonus for?
Get home.
Get home, bus fare.
Yeah.
Bus fare. Yeah. So there it is. Bronze Star Medal, Purple Heart, Army Good Conduct Medal, American Campaign Medal, European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign Medal with 3 Bronze Service Stars, World War II Medal, Victory Medal, Army of Occupation Medal with Germany clasp, Combat Infantry Badge, Sharpshooter Badge with a carbine, Pistol Machine Gun Bars, Marksman Badge with rifle bar, and Honorable Service Lapel Button, World War II. When you left the war, did you meet in all your contacts any people living in Niagara Falls, New York that were fighters for the Nazis?
No, I knew that.
A lot of them came over though.
Yeah.
A lot of the Nazis were imprisoned in the United States.
They were in prison. They were PWs. They were PWs.
And then when POWs, but when the war was ended, a lot of them stayed in the United
Yeah,
States.
because they found a home here.
Yeah. Did you meet any of these people?
I knew them. I didn't know them personally. I knew them in sight.
You knew of them?
Yeah.
Because it's like, when you liberated the concentration camps, the SS all tried to blend in as regular German citizens. They didn't want no one to know they're SS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So we're reading his book. How many pages is it?
849.
Wow, that's one big, beautiful book. Whoa. That's one big, beautiful book. We read it already once in its entirety, and now we're back again the second time around, and we're on chapter 11, which is Soldiers, Snow, Bunkers, and Panzers. And this is where they're actually in the front line. They're fighting in the front line. And I'll start and I'll continue on. Mr. Jeckovich was only 4 guys were left in this whole group. And it's interesting to say that they were wandering in the Ardennes Forest for several weeks trying to catch up to their unit. So they finally found Americans, and he realized he came upon an American bunker. I didn't, in Mr. Jeckovich's words, I did not see it, nor did anyone else. I shouted back that we were Americans coming from Wiltz. We were told to come forward with our arms raised high. As we did, there was a movement to our front. A soldier darted out from nowhere with a Thompson machine gun trained on us. "What outfit are you guys from?" he asked in a Brooklyn accent, stopping short of us and still holding his Thompson machine gun at the ready. With my arms still raised, I answered 75th, almost reluctantly. Almost reluctantly, wow. You didn't care for the 75th, right?
Huh?
You didn't care for the 75th because they weren't organized, right?
75th Division.
You said, you answered, you're from the 75th. And you said that reluctantly.
Well, he didn't know anything about it.
75th, he questioned. Never heard of them. Let me see your dog tags, he persisted.
Yeah.
We fumbled with our frozen, half-frozen fingers trying to retrieve them. I can just picture. You've been out in the snow, coldest winter record for months. Your fingers barely can move.
Yeah.
He examined them and seemed satisfied. As he lowered his weapon, it was then that I could make out the log bunker and saw what looked like an M1 sticking out of the slit close to the snow-covered ground. "This is the 28th outpost," he exclaimed. "We're covering the village of Ettelbruck. in the 1st Army sector. It's been pretty quiet here the last few days,
15.
but I understand that they've caught hell a little further up north near Bastogne and St. Vith.
Yeah, they did.
You were there.
Yeah.
I agreed with them and asked if they had anything to eat, since we have not eaten in a while. He said that he would get someone down from the village to take us to CP. What CP?
Command center. That was the kitchen. That was the kitchen.
He crawled
He's going
back.
to feed us.
Okay, good. He crawled back into the bunker, and I could hear him whistle into his SCR-536 walkie-talkie. In a few minutes, a Jeep came by, probably the same one that came down the trail. Probably the same one that came down the trail where we had spotted its tire marks. We jumped on for a ride to Edelbrook. We passed several more outposts.
How many were you? Were like
4.
4 of them.
There's only 4 of you. You, Lape, and 2 ammo barrels, right?
What?
There was only 4 of you left. You, Lape, and 2 ammo barrels.
Yeah.
Okay. We passed several more outposts, arrived at a stone cottage, and were ushered into a warm, cozy room. The warmth was intense after we had been out in the snow, the brutal cold outdoors for months. We were interrogated by the first lieutenant, then gave something to eat, along with some Stevie hot coffee. We were told to bed down in the next room and get some sleep, which we did gratefully.
Yeah.
It was daylight when we were awakened by a sergeant, and he told us to get our gear together. So he didn't even have a full night's sleep.
Oh.
They said, get up, you're going.
Yeah.
Man, get up, you're going. We were told to travel by truck to where our division was encamped in the 1st Army sector near Grand Manel, some 40 miles northeast of here.
Grand Manel, yeah.
Grand Manel, 40 miles northeast of here. We were giving a breakfast of hot cakes and coffee, and by 0600 hours, we're boarding the truck for a journey back to our division. There were another soldiers on the truck with us. They were to be dropped off at designated places
At
and
their own units.
Huh?
They were dropped off at their own units.
Yeah, at their units. Luckily, the 6x6 was covered. So prior to 6x6s, it was open.
Yeah.
So it's 30 degrees below zero,
Yeah.
and your truck's going 40 miles an hour, wide open, not good.
Just under 12.
There were other soldiers on the truck with us, and they were to be dropped off at designated places en route. Luckily, the 6x6 was covered, and I hope that we would not have a repeat of our last episode of riding in open trucks. Also, we were alone truck, where areas before there was a convoy of 10 to 15 semis. So you're going down the paths alone. No support,
Yeah.
nothing. Prior to that, you were in 10 to 15 semis that you would travel in. And that didn't turn out good. Something the Germans took great pains to destroy. Also, I did not relish returning to the old division with all its ramifications.
The old division, 75th,
You didn't want to return to your old division.
75th.
Yeah. We heard small arms fire in the distance. We heard small arms fire in the distance. All in all, the trip was uneventful as we skirted Bastogne and St. Vith in a wide circle to the north. The only soldiers we encountered in our town were a few British elements. Did you see many British soldiers?
No, they were in a different sector.
Very much?
No.
Were the British good fighters?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They were fighting for their country.
So they're good fighters.
Yeah.
Big casualties.
Yeah.
By early afternoon, we arrived at our destination and were dropped off at the battalion CP. The lieutenant on duty was glad to see us, and he understood that we'd seen a bit of action in the southern sector. We smiled, and I already could sense the old feelings coming back, that of the detachment and unawareness of our command and what was going on. A Jeep picked us up to take us to Company CP, and when we arrived, we were greeted by total strangers. So all the guys you knew are gone or dead. Sergeant Whalen had left several weeks ago, transferred stateside to a PR position with the Defense Department.
Yeah.
Sergeant Rupert, our platoon leader, left earlier with possible frozen foot. And Lieutenant we talked to, whom I've never seen before, was new to the company, just arriving as a replacement.
He was a mail clerk.
Mail clerk. So in essence, what had started out in the States with Captain Goodnight departing several weeks before we shipped out was continuing the same pattern in Belgium. So all the higher-ups are back in the States, and we left all the green soldiers to fight.
They probably didn't go back to the States. They went back to France, to Germany, someplace.
Yeah.
They were sending them back to the States.
Okay. But they weren't on the front line.
Well, you don't know. You don't know.
It would culminate in the exodus and the departure of the remaining of the commissioned and non-commissioned officers. We were strictly on our own. A skeleton of the division we started with severed from his cadre force and left to the bureaucracy of the Army to determine our fate and even our lives. The lieutenant told us that our platoon was outposted several miles up the road at the juncture, and that we were in a holding pattern. I mentioned that we did not have a crew weapon, and we were short about 8 men. He immediately discounted my remarks and said that it did not present a problem. Replacements would be available in several days. As a gun, he would see to it that we're supplied. Welcome home, I thought. Suddenly, our little escapade at Wilt's looked pretty good compared to what lay ahead of us. We reached the platoon CP, and again were greeted by strangers. We had acquired a monthly, this is a good part. We had acquired a Mouthy Tallie for the platoon leader.
What?
You said you acquired a Mouthy Tallie.
A Mouthy what?
You said we acquired a Mouthy Tallie. Tallie.
What?
Italian.
A Mouthy Italian.
Yeah, for a platoon leader. It says in your words, we had acquired a Mouthy Tallie, or Italian, for a platoon leader.
Yeah, he's second lieutenant.
Retread, who gotten himself a Mansfield commission through brown-nosing someone.
He was a mail clerk. He was a mail clerk.
Yeah. I thought by looking at him, he must have been a mail clerk at one time, sucking up to the officers.
Yeah.
A lot of that went on?
Yeah.
He gave us some BS about how glad he was to see us, and that our past experience would be valuable to the platoon in the few days ahead. I looked at the 2 ammo bearers who had saved my life, and we smiled at one another. What we had gone through these past several weeks, we had formed a great friendship.
How did they save his life?
Those 2 ammo bearers tell us how they saved your life.
The ammo bearers?
You said they saved your life.
The ammo bearers?
Yeah, saved your life. They shot someone that was going to shoot you. Your weapon jammed, and the ammo barrel shot the German that was attempting to kill you. Your weapon jammed, and those 2 ammo barrels shot at the German who was going to shoot you.
Well, yeah, I don't remember that.
Okay.
I don't remember that.
All right, we'll move on. He said that I would remain acting squad leader until further notice or until I was replaced. Big deal, I thought. Ship me home. Or better yet, give me my discharge papers right here and now. I knew that what I was thinking was foolish and unreal, but just the same, that's just how I felt about this entire outfit. He broke my chain of thought by asking me who our drivers was. When I told him it was Post, he gave me a smirky chuckle and said he was waiting at the motor pool with our equipment.
Yeah, well, we had the trailer.
Yeah, Post.
Both, yeah. And our full bags and everything.
It was a treat to see Post again. As we got reacquainted, we went over the supplies in the trailer. There were some things of Finks within the trailer. I was disheartened at the sight of them, but said nothing. We acquired a used crew gun, some ammo for it, and some extra clothing.
And what?
You said you required from the trailer a used crew gun, some ammo for it, and some extra clothing,
Yeah.
which I shared with the ammo bearers, and several boxes of C and K rations, which we had packed at Haverford West. What's the difference between a C ration and a K ration?
C ration was in a box, and K ration was in a can.
Oh, wow, okay. We also had some mail had caught up to our outfit. Post had kept it for us, and we're grateful to him for being so thoughtful. Minutes?
3.
How many?
3.
There were several letters addressed to Fink, which I took, but I did not know what I would do with them. I got 2 letters from Mother and Sally, and several letters from Annie, and 2 from Jean. It was like Christmas, and I was overjoyed to receive them. They were all dated and written in November, just after we left Haverford West.
And they're censored too.
What?
They were censored.
Censored,
Censored, yeah.
I was glad to hear all of them. Minutes?
2:30.
I stuffed all of them in my pack and went back to the roadblock to position my gun. It was in a defiled firing range overlooking the road juncture. We had the first squad on our right, and a short distance, the third squad was dug out on our left. Sergeant Rogers' first squad was taken over by T5. Rogers went back to Paris with a head wound and would not be back. So basically, the whole division's either dead or went away.
Yeah.
So you're starting out, minutes?
2.
You're starting out with complete strangers.
Yeah.
And you and Lape and the 2 ammo bearers were probably the only seasoned fighters in the group, right?
Well, no, we were just a restricted area. The rest of the unit was someplace else.
Uh-huh.
We didn't see the whole unit.
So how was this lieutenant?
Huh?
The lieutenant, how?
He has been.
Yeah.
He's a mail clerk.
And he kissed someone's ass.
Yeah, and
And
he's a Tallie.
Yeah.
Mouthy Tallie.
Mouthy, yeah. Minutes.
1:10.
And but it was great news that Post was still with you,
Yeah,
and he was the man that drove the Jeep, right?
yeah,
And he kept all your supplies in it.
yeah. Well, he had the trailer. He pulled the trailer with it.
That must have been a very difficult job to keep finding everybody. That must have been difficult.
Well, they just told him where we were. They just told him where we were.
Well, that could have been dangerous. You could be driving one of those dirt roads and you could get easily picked off by a sniper.
No, he wouldn't do much moving. He wouldn't do much moving.
No.
Not by himself, no. He'd hole up someplace.
Did Post carry a gun?
He carried, he carried an M1. That's all. Do
you think he ever used it?
He carried an initial weapon.
Do you think he ever used it?
Well, he knew how to use it. He was trained for it.
Did you think he ever had to use it?
No.
No.
I don't think he shot anybody.
Yeah. Minutes?
15 seconds.
So Post was a good guy, right?
Yeah, he was from a selected family. He didn't have my background.
I see.
Both his parents in school.